What happens when the so-called Sephora kids generation starts selling us all younger looking skin?
Hey guys, get ready with me for bed. I have had a very stressful day at school, so this is needed.
This TikTok video shows Ellie-May, who was not even a teenager when this all was filmed, showing off her multi-step skincare routine. And she's not the only young person doing this. Videos made by young people have prompted industry regulators to investigate claims that some brands are using kid influencers to sell products to other children. At the same time, there's been a growing concern from some healthcare professionals about this desire for flawless skin. In fact, some have become so worried that they've coined a new term to describe this all, called cosmeticorexia. From the BBC, I'm Asma Khalid in Washington, D.C., and welcome to the Global Story on YouTube.
My name's Ruth Clegg. I'm the BBC's health and wellbeing reporter.
Ruth, welcome to the Global Story. First time you're joining us, so thanks so much.
Thanks so much for having me today, Asma.
I will say, Ruth, anecdotally, it does seem to me like we see a lot of young people focused on skincare earlier than they were perhaps in my days. Maybe that kind of interest started when you were a teenager, I will say, when I was growing up in the 90s. And so I get the sense, if you walk into, say, a Sephora shop here in the United States, you'll see a lot of young girls. And why I wanted to talk to you is your reporting isn't just based on the vibes, right? I say I walk into Sephora, I notice something. You've dug into this all. And I want to know why you wanted to report this out. I'm curious why this story caught your attention.
It's resonated with me for a while, just because it's been such a kind of growing phenomenon over the past couple of years. And it has been that kind of sense of, is this a normal thing that we understand and can relate to as older women?
Yeah.
Or is this something completely different? And I think you can look at it in so many different ways and see, in some respects, like you say, young kids going to Sephora and trying out makeup. But at the same time, we've got dermatologists, psychologists, even regulators across the world getting involved, trying to kind of slow down this ever-growing market of children's skincare. And the fallout that we're beginning to see, which I've detailed in my reporting, is the impact that we're seeing on children's skin, for a start, and their mental health. And part of that is intertwined inevitably by the fact that this trend is absolutely booming on social media. TikTok alone, 64 million hits when it comes to children and skincare. And it shows no sign.
64 million?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's such a huge global phenomenon, which
Is it
seems
a content curiosity, or is it also bringing in dollars?
Some analysts say it's worth about $1.5 billion at the moment.
$1.5 billion. Okay.
$1.5 billion when it incorporates children's skincare and children's cosmetics.
And how young are we talking about?
Well, type in children and skincare into any social media engine and you'll be inundated with videos of young children, some as young as 3 and 4 years old.
Oh, gosh.
And they're following these multi-step skincare routines. And there are even face masks for 3-year-olds. So you were talking young
already
girls.
have that baby skin, to be clear. I have a young
Yes.
child. They have that luxuriously soft skin. So that's wild.
Yeah, like one of the dermatologists I spoke to said the irony of all this is at that age, never can you have more beautiful, soft, perfect skin in the sense of you've got a really good skin barrier and it's plump and it's healthy and it's shining. I mean, what I would give for a 10-year-old skin with this face, I would give a lot.
I want to ask you a lot more about the industry itself, Ruth, because I've got a lot of questions. But I know that you have also been speaking to one young girl in particular by the name of Ellie-May. Can you tell us more about her and why you decided to meet with her and to follow her story?
Well, I thought it was really important while reporting on this to not just kind of look at the trend, is to really try and understand it and try to speak to children and young people who are actively involved in the trend and are enjoying it. So I got hold of Ellie-May. I met her through TikTok and through her mum. And we began chatting, and she is 13 years old, but she started using and advertising skincare when she was 8 years old. And speaking to Ellie-May, she is Very, very confident when she's on camera. So when we were chatting, just the two of us, she was a lot quieter. But when she's on camera and she's kind of doing her videos, she is very smooth. She is charismatic.
My routine at the moment is I wash my face in the mornings, put a good moisturiser on, do light makeup for school, and then when I come home from school, I clean my face. Sometimes I'll use serums and blemish patches if I need to, and definitely always a lip balm.
She can really kind of talk about a product and how much she loves the product. She's quite funny. She says she's very much herself.
I got my face roller out, and I'm not even joking, this face roller is one of the best face rollers ever.
She seems really natural.
I love it so much. They're such a good combination. They last for ages, and I haven't ran out of it. Of my and that's just me saying bye.
And you can tell she's genuinely enjoying being on camera. And the mum explains to me that this began in COVID as a bit of fun.
Me and Ellie got involved with skincare, I want to say around 2020 when lockdown hit. Skincare was trending on social media. Ellie was coming across lots of different skincare videos, and it was something that me and Ellie could do together.
And at that point, Ellie-May had seen some of her friends who were into skincare, and so she just started posting videos about it. And what became as a bit of fun started to grow rapidly, and they were getting contacts from other brands, and then they started to think that actually this is actually becoming something that could turn into something quite lucrative.
My followers love my skincare videos, and they always want to know what products I'm using.
And she says she gets a lot out of it. She loves the amount of followers she has. She's got 330,000 followers alone on TikTok. And it's become something that's not just about Ellie-May posting things, her mum posts things. And speaking to both of them, they explain that actually the mum says it's changed their lives.
Being an influencer has completely changed mine and my family's lives. We have been given so many amazing opportunities, been able to experience so many different things that we wouldn't have been able to experience before, gone on so many adventures, and I have been able to spend so much more time with my children.
And they've gone from being able to afford a lot more than what they'd been able to. And her mum says that she's now got 6 children, and being influencers has helped make them more financially stable, so she can even have that amount of children. That's helped her, she says, grow her family to a certain degree.
So they're making money off the content, to be clear, Ruth?
Yes, yeah.
How much?
So yes, the whole family are now influencers, and their accounts, they've got accounts across TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and across their different accounts, they're making around $70,000 a year, and some of that comes from Ellie-May and her posting about skincare.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, so it's a good income.
Ruth, you say that we are seeing an increasing trend of young girls using skincare and makeup products. And as we talked about at the outset here, in some ways, there's nothing entirely new about young girls and young women experimenting with makeup, but it sounds like the degree to which this is happening, you're saying, feels new, the sophistication of products. And I want to get a sense from you of how concerned are dermatologists and experts about this goal for flawless skin?
Well, there is definitely growing concern among dermatologists and psychologists and even regulators. And a dermatologist and a psychologist over in Italy have coined a new term in their research called cosmeticorexia.
I saw that in your reporting, yeah. It's an interesting
Yeah.
word. What does that exactly mean?
Yes, and also quite a difficult word to get your tongue around. Cosmeticorexia refers to young people from a young age having an obsession with trying to achieve this flawless skin, and that leads to an obsessive use of cosmetic products. And what this dermatologist found when he was researching it, he interviewed 55 of his patients aged between 8 and 14 years old, and he found that there were common themes that kind of pointed towards signs of cosmeticorexia, which were using around or above 10 products a day.
10 products a day.
Having an obsession with their mobile phone to the point where it was seen as kind of phone addiction, where they were addicted to looking at social media. And crucially, they were not leaving the house, socialising, meeting even members of their family, even going to school, without wearing having gone through their skincare routine and put on a full face of makeup.
Wow. But that's sad a bit. You're saying they're not even meeting members of their own family, or they don't feel
Yeah.
comfortable with going out with just their natural skin.
Yeah, yeah, and I think he said that one of the psychologists said that they felt at the ages of 8 or 9 years old a sense of shame and embarrassment because they would look at what they were seeing online and see this flawless skin, this Korean glass skin look, and look at themselves, feel like they didn't meet that beauty aesthetic. And then at such a young age, he said it was really worrying that these children were feeling a sense of shame for not, in his words, and how they describe themselves, for not looking beautiful enough.
That term, cosmeticorexia, is quite a provocative term. Is it
Yeah.
really a diagnosis, or is it just a new label for an old problem, perhaps to garner attention around the issue?
Yeah, that's a really good point. It could be seen as, it is a very new term. It's just recently been coined. There's no diagnostic criteria.
There's no diagnostic criteria. Okay.
No.
And in addition to those three concerns you outlined, are the actual products causing harm at all to young people using them? I mean, a lot of these products are anti-aging products, retinol.
Yeah.
I'm curious if, I don't know. I mean, look, if people are just putting moisturizers on their skin, a part of me wonders, like, yes, that might affect young girls' self-confidence and appearance as they go out, but is it actually harmful or not to the skin?
Well, a lot of these products, like you say, have got anti-aging ingredients in them, and they're called like active ingredients. That's the likes of retinol, vitamin C, niacinamide, and a lot of these products have these in. And active ingredients are basically ones that change the form of the cells in the skin. So they help with anti-aging, but they can be quite dangerous for younger skin. And dermatologists have told me that they've seen some young clients coming in with retinol burn, where they've actually burnt their skin using these products.
Oh, wow.
And some of the other ingredients in these products sound harmless enough, and this is what dermatologists have told me, like some of the botanicals, like lavender oil or white tea, and it sounds lovely, but what their concern is and what they're seeing is that these can cause contact allergies because they shouldn't be put on young skin that's still developing. And contact allergies are basically where you develop an allergy to a certain ingredient, which can mean long term you can't use that cosmetic, that product again in the future. So these creams can have long-term effects if used on young skin.
Ruth, I'm wondering if young children are seeing these products on the shelves and just buying them because they want to, or if skincare brands are actively marketing some of these products to young customers.
It's definitely a mixture of both. I think there's definitely young girls who are seeing products that are marketed towards the older age groups who love the sight of them, the colours on them and some of the ingredients, and they're buying them or getting their parents to buy them. But there are also brands that are targeting younger children. There's a brand that puts K-pop demon hunters all over their packaging to try and attract a certain age group. Mm-hmm. And the brands that are targeting the younger children would say that we're putting safe ingredients in. We're not putting the likes of retinol and anti-aging ingredients in, and we're just trying to attract them because taking care of your skin is a good thing, and we want to see, young people understand the dangers of not taking care of your skin. But then there's obviously the criticism that young children perhaps being involved in something that they don't need to be involved in at such a young age.
Yeah, Ruth, I mean, the counter to some of the concerns here is, look, I'm in my 40s now, and I will say candidly, I wish I had realized the importance of taking care of my skin more when I was younger. There wasn't as much of a conversation I felt around this, even when I was in my 20s. And isn't there an argument that perhaps it's a good thing to teach young people how to look after their skin from a young age?
Yeah, I definitely think that's part of the argument. I definitely think that there's a lot of people that say that's a good thing, and dermatologists say that actually young people putting SPF on their skin.
Yeah, I didn't wear sunscreen nearly as much as I should have. I realize that now.
Oh my God, I wish I'd been putting sunscreen. I remember being quite cocky, thinking, well, I'm not getting burnt, so it's fine. Little did I know that I would have skin like this now. But I think there is definitely a growing awareness that children can look after their skin, and a little bit of moisturiser, sunscreen, washing and cleansing your face with really simple ingredients. I think there's that line between following a very basic skincare routine to maintain skin health and then using 10, 15 products on a daily basis.
As we've seen this increased consumption of skincare products among young customers, are skincare brands actively sending their products to young content creators like Ellie-May to advertise? I'm curious what the nexus is between being a young child influencer, let's say, in this market and the brands themselves. Is there connectivity? Is she being invited, say, for example, to brand events?
There is definitely a connection, and you do see a lot of young girls on social media saying they are brand ambassadors, but it's very different between a young girl saying they're a brand ambassador and the company using them as a brand ambassador. So the companies that I've contacted, many of them didn't get back to me, but a source closely associated with Drunk Elephant, a really well-known skincare brand, they said that they are not a youth-focused brand, and they don't target under 18s, and they don't use brand ambassadors. I don't want to go as far as say that brands, from what I can categorically say, are sending their products to young people, but young people are definitely using them and describing themselves as brand ambassadors.
You mentioned a moment ago this term cosmeticorexia. Is that a term that is being taken seriously in the industry? Are there any calls to look into this further, any calls for regulation?
I think when you say the term cosmeticorexia, I think that term in itself is something relatively new, but there is concern within the industry about the amount of young children who are becoming involved and using these multi-step skincare routines, and their regulators are getting involved. In Italy, for example, the Italian Advertising Authority has recently launched an investigation into LVMH, which is the company that owns both Sephora and Benefit. It's investigating whether LVMH has been targeting children under the age of 10 and using them as micro-influencers online, and that investigation is ongoing. I contacted LVMH, who said they're cooperating with the Italian authorities, and they maintain that they do not specifically target young people, and they only work with influencers over the age of 18. And also in Connecticut, the Attorney General there has been basically investigating and raising awareness and raising his concerns for a good couple of years about Sephora and the attraction that it's got with young children, and whether it's targeting under 18s and specifically those that are aged kind of under 10 years old. He's reached an agreement with Sephora, and Sephora has said that they're adopting new safeguards regarding the marketing of the anti-aging products specifically at kids. They're now requiring all employees who assist consumers in their shops to be educated and trained on what products are safe for young children under 13 in particular. And they're also saying that they will start to put on their website which products are suitable for those children under 13.
It seems like there is some momentum globally to regulate, or to at least address the issue of younger children using some of these skincare products. And it seems like they are trying to possibly hold businesses accountable for what children are buying and using. And I imagine, Ruth, there are going to be people listening to our conversation wondering, well, isn't some of this about parental responsibility? But it sounds like a lot of the effort around regulation has been targeted towards businesses. And I'm curious if you've heard any pushback about that, because there are many things that children may buy and use, at least here in the United States, where we don't necessarily go after the company.
Yes, so some skincare brands a couple of years ago were a lot more active in this market when it comes to children and skincare, and were putting on their websites about the kind of products that were more suitable for a children's skincare regime. But you're still talking a multi-step, expensive skincare regime, but there was a lot of widespread criticism. So some of those companies have stepped back a bit and said we're not focusing our products on young people, and we're very much more an adult, older skincare range. But in some respects, the horse has bolted. These products are out there. Children are using them. They are seeing these brightly coloured packages. They want them. And it comes down to that thing as well, as we all know as young people, and even so ourselves at this age. You want products, you want names, you kind of compete with other people about what names of your products that you're using. And you're seeing that very much on social media, that whether brands like it or not, young children are getting hold of these products and their parents are helping them, and they're using them and saying how good these things are.
I can't help but acknowledge that women's bodies have always been big business. You can go back to the 90s. There was an obsession around being as thin as possible. Fast forward to the 2000s. We saw a lot of focus on having big lips, tiny waist. Now the focus may be on being young forever, but it's always been a money-making business. Is the difference now that young girls are being monetized? I mean, it strikes me that Ellie-May has taken on a role as a moneymaker, and this is not just in regards to the companies' products, right, that she may be using, but she's making money for her family, you say.
Yeah, I think that is definitely one of the differences, and I think one of those, what it comes down to in some respects, is that the platform is there to make money from. So the likes of Ellie-May and other influencers have got something there in their bedrooms that they can easily post on social media, and money can be made from it. And it's not seen as like kind of child labour to a certain degree by the families who are doing this, because it's something that Ellie-May does as a hobby. Her mum is really proud of Ellie-May, and she says that since she's been posting on social media, she's watched her daughter's confidence grow and grow, and she does not see any problem with having her daughter on social media. And she says that she has no problem with her using skincare. Now, her mum, Sophie, says that she monitors the skincare that she uses, that they don't use any harsh products like retinol on her daughter's skin.
I personally don't worry about the impact of Ellie using creams at such a young age, because I think that it is teaching her healthy habits, like healthy hygiene habits and healthy self-care habits. I think that self-care is important, and I personally do not think there is anything wrong with teaching your child to look after their skin, as long as they're not using any harsh skincare products.
And they also monitor her social media accounts. They make sure that what she's putting out there is kind of age appropriate.
I have things in place to keep me and my children safe on social media. Like, there's just certain things that I do. So if my kids are going away or we're going away, then I won't post about that until we are actually home. Like, I won't post about certain places my kids are going until they are home and they've already been.
And she says that it's really, really helped their family. She's an influencer herself. She involves her whole family in posts. So it's seen as something that's a hobby, but also something that makes money. From a society perspective, it feels that we're entering new territory, in the sense that we now live in the digital world or alongside the digital world. And you could say that young girls, children, teenagers, adults who make money on these digital platforms are not just surviving online, they're thriving online. But then there are huge questions that are coming from the likes of dermatologists and psychologists that then say, is this not another circus for young children to perform in? And actually, when it comes to reality, because reality is there, and even if you can exist in a digital world for hours and hours a day, you still have to face reality. Can that then translate into making money and surviving in the real world?
Well, thank you, Ruth, for joining us. I really appreciate it. It was such a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you for having me.
And that's it for the Global Story on YouTube. Thanks as always for tuning in. And one quick note before you all go, we here at the Global Story are working on a very special series tied to the United States' 250th anniversary. And as part of that series, we would love to hear from you all, our Global Story viewers. We want to hear how you think the United States has impacted the world. And in particular, we all know that President Trump has ripped up the old world order. There's a lot of questions about what might come next. So we want to know what questions you all have. As always, our email address is theglobalstory@bbc.com.